What's going on, everyone? We got the dollar here. It's continuing. It says bullish move across the 34 on a daily chart. We got the hammer down here still. Not a perfect hammer, but pretty damn close. Went up to resistance, held support at the 8, came across the 13, held support at the 13, moved on up once again, and then now we got a little hammer here, so I took out that, came back into support. Now it's continuing on. Breaking previous highs so far. Just barely. But breaking in the previous lows is where we're at. So, and it would be a lot nicer if it held support above this spot, 102. So it looks still bullish across the daily chart. I'm still contending on the weekly chart that it's a bearish retracement back into resistance, and it will prove me wrong once we get over previous highs at 102. 2-bar reversal, but it's being stuck by resistance, and there it got pushed back pretty hard, but it's climbing on back up. So let's get above previous highs, and then I'll be longer term bullish on this one. Weekly chart. It did come on a weekly chart, come all the way back down into support and reversed. So get above previous highs, and I won't call this a bearish retracement anymore because it will have failed and closed above previous highs. Let's look at the indices. I haven't looked at this all day, so I'm not sure if there's any disaster waiting. Looks like it came into support and bounced just a tiny bit. Support is previous highs. Let's see, let's take a look at all of these real quick on the weekly chart. And cut it down to the daily. Looks like they're all the same, pretty much. Now the NASDAQ, I think that was coming down into support. It looks like it had a little pop, but got rejected. So now we got a higher low with a rejected candle. So is that a bearish retracement and allowing it to go down? Or is that a consolidation back into support and now it's going to build? If it was going to build, it would have closed above resistance lines, which is previous highs. Remember, those indicators are just indications of where previous highs and lows are. Areas of resistance and support. We got a 2-bar pattern on the Dow that looks bearish, and it continues across the 30 or the 8. We do have support at the end of the gap, so it looks like it's filling the gap. It's slowly but surely. I got the gap fill at, what is that? 20,852.5. So I got support coming in, but I guess I'm continuing with a bearish 2-bar pattern. The final lines of support are at that 13 previous highs. So I'll see if it'll hold. It's got to get there first. Otherwise, it needs to get back above into previous lows to continue. And for the S&P daily, looks like it came back in, closed the gap. So let's see if it closes the gap and runs, or closes the gap and churns. It is at support, the end of the gap. So 2-bar reversal came into support. Let's see what happens from here. And that being said, it looks like the Dow Jones has a little catching up to do. Coming into support next couple days, I bet. And as far as the NASDAQ, looks like it filled the gap. Look for previous low breaks as it did close above, below. It closed the gap and didn't really bounce too much. It did bounce, but it got rejected. So where is the momentum if it's rejected? Look for previous low breaks on all of them, as the 2-bar reversals are pretty heavy on those tops. I got not a perfect reversal, but it's got a long wick. But it did confirm on the upside, closed the gap, filled it, and continued. This may be a bearish retracement back into resistance, allowing it to fall over. It's like that bouncing ball. Bounce, 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 and then bounce, bounce, bounce. Not sure what's going to happen, but right now it's below resistance, coming into that long trend line coming down. So we'll see what happens, but daily's closing on its highs, right below resistance, closing above previous highs. It's got to get above this previous high over here to continue that momentum, though. Still all of this off of this beautiful little hammer down here, long-wicked hammer. As far as the week goes, let's see. Looks like a 2-bar reversal. Looks like it's going to try outside that down trend line. Got ways to go on the daily chart, but looks pretty healthy from here. Nice hammer down here. All the way into resistance, threw it back. Now it's doubling back. So let's see if it gets outside that downward trend line. The lower highs. TNX. Nice 2-bar reversal. Still at resistance. Just poking its head across the resistance line there. Let's see if it'll hold, get rejected, or just move on through. Looks like it's having a hard time though. Let's take a look at the daily. Looks like we're outside the pattern. Look for any whipsaws. But it certainly did close outside the pattern. Still a higher low, so it busted out, came back into support. Maybe it'll follow the line. Sometimes it follows the line for support on the way down. But so far so good. It's outside the pattern. Had a peak here, opposing point, point, boom. Look for a whipsaw back into support. Gather its legs to make sure it cracks outside. Looks like it's a little premature, as we got a lot of pattern to fill here. But nonetheless, we got a triple bottom, and it's got to get above previous highs just because it's on outside the previous downward trend line. It's got to get above previous highs to continue. We have a gap over here. Let's get above that. It did close above this previous high. So the next previous high, the next previous high. Looks like we got this support line right here. Pretty nice weekly reversal there. Just got a little bit more. Get above that 8 on the weekly. Then we got support from previous highs. There we go. Nikkei's back and forth in that side, that pattern still. We had a whipsaw, came all the way back in. Or just the opposite. Oh, it looks like it started here and went back through and then over here. It's holding support. Weekly's showing a bearish harami. Let's see. It says a gap and fill. Has not recovered yet, but it is coming into support pretty nicely as the bodies become thinner and thinner and thinner, and then all of a sudden we have a reversal. Let's see if it'll do it. Got an upward trend line, flat top, but a whipsaw. So let's see what happens when it comes across and grabs support wherever that may be. Slowly but surely, I guess, in that pattern. Nice gap up and fill. Look for previous low breaks. You can see the gap in the first candle that it made on the hourly chart. It's falling star. So look what happened on that falling star. Oh. Closing on its lows, closing below previous lows. So it has a flat bottom break. Crossed the 34. It got rejected by the 8 on the way up. Oh, hourly looks bearish. Still. So even though we're showing support on the daily, looks like the hourly is just tremendously bearish. As it came across the 34, well, we got that falling star, filled the gap here, bounced, but then got rejected. Rejected by the 8, rejected by the 8. Look for previous low breaks as it closed below previous low. Look for a continuation on the downside, I guess. Crude is a slug. Let's see. Two-bar reversal off the bottom pattern. Tried to break above, but it got rejected. So let's see if it still builds. We need to close above previous highs to get support. So far, it got rejected on the upside. Closing near its open. We do have an upward pattern. Trend line. Flat top break. That's an ascending triangle. So still rooting for the 60. 50 should have got a 60 already. Stuck in a pattern. Trade outside the pattern. Previous low breaks. Looks like it's right there. Coal is not looking good. Previous low. Looks like a rejection of the 8 again. So we had this tri-tip here. Came across, rejected, 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 rejected. Look for previous low breaks as the continuation is in. Looks like it's closing below previous. Just barely. Look for previous low breaks on coal. I don't know what to say. Thought it was going to be bullish. 3-bar pattern does it all. And support, bounce, rejected there. Look for previous low breaks. So let's see. Steel. not sure about steel because it's still in that same little, after that fatal drop, it's just really just stuck. So I don't know what the deal is. And if it's stuck, then it's bearish. So, because, you know, it's stuck and it loses momentum through time. So, bam, lower high, flat top break, or flat bottom break. Look for previous low breaks. We got the churn here and the cross. So watch the down and then come back into resistance as the 8 comes across. But it's still above support, so ultimately we want to close above the previous highs. I got previous highs down here at 33.70. So it might be quite a bit of drop for steel if it can't pick up the pace. Yeah, look for previous low breaks as that small little trend line going up has broken down. Plus we're closing on the weekly so far below the EMA 8. The previous low breaks down below 35.75. Doesn't look good. And gold. Another down. Another downer. So, beginning of the year, it comes up, makes a double top, corrects, makes a hammer, comes across, bullish move, flat top break, 2-bar pattern comes into support one more time, flat top break here, comes up, and just loses it really. We have a hammer here, got rejected, came down for a hammer here, got rejected, flat top for previous low breaks. We are looking for an opposing point for the uptrend, so all in all this is healthy, but we're looking for some kind of a, you know, up and then test support kind of situation so we can follow on up. Daily looks bearish as it crossed the 34. Look for a bearish retracement back into resistance, allowing it to fall over. Always look for the double back. I'm understanding, Big Square came out with another video today. I'm understanding that the LBMA is having trouble now filling gold contracts. I don't know what that means. But the comics for the past week has not had any good news. So, and since the election, I think exposure is up like, or you know, in other words, they're printing contracts up like 40% since the election. So they're definitely trying to hold this down as much as possible, and they're having a hard time because now they can't fill contracts. LBMA steps down from the silver fix. But we need to get above previous highs to make things supportable. Otherwise, I got a previous high at 12. At any moment, it could just double back. But watch the previous highs on the way down and then hold support for previous lows. I'm not sure if this is done yet. I'm looking for some kind of reversal. So let's find it. We had a bottom forming yesterday. This is where I bought it. We had a bottom, and I bought into support, and while I fell asleep, it fell over. And then we had a higher low forming, and that fell apart. So, try again. I got a 2-bar reversal here. but did it hold? A 2-bar reversal here, did it hold? It's coming into resistance now. On the EMA 8 hourly, we are showing higher lows. So just a slight uptrend. If I can get it right. I don't think I can. So let's bump across that 8, hit the 13, come back into support to the 8, double back, cross the 13, come back into support again, hit that 34, bounce, 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 and crack across. So far, all I'm seeing is a couple hours of reversal and then falling apart. I got previous lows that we need to get above 1220. We did not hold 1220. First line. So now we got support at 12. I think I mentioned that yesterday. Closing on its lows for the week so far. Not perfectly on its lows, but it's damn near close. Closing below previous low here. So now we're going to go to next previous lows for support, which is 50% of the previous green candle. Amazing how all this stuff works. Let me just take this line, use it as support. Previous low, 50% of the candle. Not exact. And lo and behold, we got the 8 coming up to meet it. So let's get a spike down into support with some power. Hit that and bounce hard. Because that line, I believe, is right at 12. Nice. Hold the line. We do have a right shoulder coming in. So we have the left shoulder, we have the head, and now the right shoulder. So let's spike low, hit that 12. Let's churn. And then with some fervor, some velocity and direction, momentum, let's get above the 34 this next round. Kind of a weird reverse head and shoulders, but that's right shoulder's coming in pretty clearly, obviously. Silver, same thing. It's silver's looking a lot better. Even though it's still rejected by the 34, it's coming down into support pretty handily. We got plenty of support here, previous highs, previous lows. Plenty of support, the 8's right there. Could definitely come down below the 8, come to the next line of support. But well, hell, I don't know. The way they're treating these things, pulling them way back. I'm thinking if this turns into a J-nug, it's gonna the right shoulder is gonna pull down below the 13 on the weekly chart. That's not gonna look good, is it? The further they break it down. Anywho's, we got 2 lines of support. So silver's looking a lot better. Do not want these things falling over because it takes months for it to recover. So we got to hold the line on the pullbacks, by the dips, as they say. Let's look at those hourlies one more time for gold and silver. Again, gold got rejected on its hourly chart. It's trying, but it's got to get above that 8 for a significant amount of time, come back into support, and then we can call it a day. It's got to get above previous lows, break into previous lows, and then come back down into support, which are previous lows, previous highs. It's a little balance point right there. We are coming off a double bottom. I didn't see that a minute ago. We got a double bottom coming up. 2-bar reversal, double bottom. Let's get this thing pumping for the next half of the week. I'm ready. And silver. Silver's looking a lot better than gold. You can see the down spike, the reversal, and then the accumulation. Now it's coming out of that accumulation. Watch previous high breaks into support, into resistance. Let's get above 1750. Then we can start building our support lines. Right now we got a thin line support. If we get above next line, previous low, we'll have another line of support. So let's get above there. Let's there it goes. 1750. Let's get above there and close that hour chart. Oh, copper on the copper's got a higher low on the 60-minute. That's good. Oh, damn! I didn't see that till now. How far did it come down last night? From 65 to 61. So not huge. Maybe it's looking for that opposing point. Nope. Just broke down that opposing point. Copper appears to be breaking down. Take the high and let's see. Let's just take the high and do an guesstimation on the measured move. 280, 270. So let's just call it 10 points from 1070. So support should be coming in on the measured move on the downside. Right? Yeah. 80 to 70, 70 to 60. Let's see if the measured move's in. Otherwise, it might be coming down for a while. Looks like it broke down pretty handily. Let's get back above this line here. Yeah, well, as we saw a minute ago, it looks like we got a higher low on the bottom here. So let's break above previous highs, get into previous lows, get some support, and then crack. Keep going. Stupid copper. Ruined it. Oh, it looks so pretty. It looks so nice when these gold, silver, and copper are all going to run together. Now everything just turned to crap. It's holding previous lows on the weekly chart. Barely. No, it's not. It's closing below it now. So the next range of things is all the way down. 245. Ugh. Copper's coming down. It's breaking that momentum it had. Took too long, didn't keep going. GDX, that right shoulder's all the way broken down below the 13. Still waiting for that big churn. Everything's the same down here below the 13 on that retracement, except for Nugget, which is holding support on the 13. JNUG. Now this is what I'm hoping to buy back into on the bottom. Thought for sure today was the bottom, but it's not. Kept going. Let's see. Pretty much a stair step though. Looking for a spike low. Damn, it's taking this way back. Here's the last line of protection right there at $4. Need a spike low. Oh. Damn. That was a beautiful reverse head and shoulders, and it's just not holding itself in. Breaking previous lows. That neckline's broken. Are they going to take this down another leg? Sure as hell hope not. It'll take forever for these things to recover. But there we have it, though. JNUG. Hard to imagine. Just a couple weeks ago, I was trading it up at 12. Now it's well below 6. That's quite a bit of drop for a retracement. Wondering if it's going to just collapse, fall over. Didn't hold previous lows over here. It's barely closing above previous highs. It's actually breaking into previous range. Oh, here we go. I found a bounce from the gap over here. So it bounced off that gap, filled the gap over here, and bounced off of it. Not much of a bounce though. Lots of work going on the way up. Previous lows, that left shoulder, another left shoulder over here, plus 50% rule. Oh my God. Let's find it. Let's find a reversal this week. So the 60-minute looks like reverse head and shoulders off the bottom. Just a steep decline. Needs to break it back above here. Almost there. Broke down, we had the AB bottom again. Broke across, came back into support, now it's dragging all the way up. Let's see if we can hold. Gotta get some kind of recovery. That's pretty drastic. Need some kind of weekly turnaround. Maybe the next couple days we can get a nice little hammer off of this. Maybe. That would be really nice. CLF again. Man, not holding support very well. I got support over here at 850, previous highs. I got previous lows 866. I've got the previous pattern low highs coming in real soon, so hopefully this will churn. I thought this had a good day. Not even close. That was a quick move over that 34. Look for a measured move over the 34 now. Gotta hold support. It's coming in the previous highs. Previous highs over here. It's definitely filled the gap and continued. Gotta find a churn. Closing on its lows. That does not look good. So here's previous highs over here. Should have held that gap. That was more important than these previous highs. Should have held this gap right here. But it did not. Man. That's pretty wicked when they brought that down. But I should know better because they've done it to this one before. 100% retracements on the previous breaks. That looks like the second time they've done this. They have a breakout and then 100% retracement all the way back in. Need a churn. It's closing on its lows on the hourly chart. Does not look good. Not done yet. Doesn't seem like it. Bitcoin. That looked like a spike low on that thing. So we have a high of 13, basically. Just short of 13. It's a bearish retracement right there. You see that? Perfect bearish retracement. Look at that stair step into resistance. Broke down, boom, 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 perfect short. Double top right over the 34. Bam, bam, double. Nice reversal. Where did it spike down to? Was that 1175? Not 1175. All the way back down into previous breaks, right? So, bullish retracement's in. Yeah, I don't know. It's got a higher low. It's got to hold previous lows or previous highs. Look for previous low breaks back into. I don't know. So we had a break and it came back into support and it bounced. So it held support. So is it going to continue, or are we going to have a little sideways action? It's got to somehow build some kind of a pattern. We need some opposing points. Pretty nice bounce. Let's see if that's not just a dead cat bounce where it just bounces and the next day it falls over. 1135 is support for previous highs, and then we have the ultimate highs from the long ago at 1160. So far so good. But it's down, what is it? 70 points from its high. Approximately. Gold silver ratio, looks like silver's gaining on gold for the past couple days. NAK, looking for a return on this one too. Bounce has got to be great once it happens. Can't get it to move though. It's got to get up into previous lows. Looks like a crank down and then an accumulation pattern. It's slow sliding. A, B bottom. Could happen. Damn. Wasn't this at like 4? What was the high on this thing? 350. That's more than 100% retracement. Even though it has bad news. Still. Looking for a churn. There's got to be some money made on this one. Huge drop. So far for the week, we got low volume on that drop toe. So it looks like sellers are drying up. Buyers may come back in here shortly. See what happens. The previous low break, crank it all the way down. We got the AB bottom now. We got a small hammer. Let's break that. Above 125, it gains some more support. I think uranium's churning a little bit. It's trying. Let's see, daily. Nah, so far it got rejected. We got previous lows, and then previous lows were rejected. So it's holding these previous lows, and it got rejected by these previous lows. Looks like maybe a left shoulder and the head forming. UAC. That double top is still in effect. Bearish retracement right there. I don't know. I got previous highs, I got previous lows of 121, I got previous highs of 117. So is it done yet? Oh, that looked like a sweet breakout to the double top formed. Just my luck. Let's look at that VIX. Looks like it held the line. Looks like it's building before the 34. Let's get it above. Let's get volatility back in here. So far, we're opening down for the day on the dollar. So far, looks like we're opening up for gold and silver. Maybe we can get a double back. Watch the bearish retracement. If it's strong enough, it'll double back and close 50% to 100% of the previous candle. Let's get it above 50% into previous lows. Close out a reversal on the next day. Let's get a double back. And I'm hoping for a turn in JNUG as well as CLF. And let's look at AG real quick. Oh my God. What are these things doing? Did not hold the gap support. Did not hold previous lows. All it's got is a thin line. This small pattern right here. That's all it's got. Might have something in the previous past to hold it up. Previous breaks were at 679. Same as previous lows. Last line is, looks like the last line of defense is at 670. It's gotta turn. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. The bounce back, if it happens, might be pretty nice. All right, well, thanks for everyone. Comments, sharing, liking, all of the above. Please let me know what's out there. Let me know if you want to watch something. Let's get a turn in the metals. It's our time. I'll see ya.